Hi guys, welcome to Science Live In. As I've told you all in the last video, hereafter we are going to see a series of chapters related to botany. So to check out the list of topics, you can see a previous video. Now let's move on to the chapter. Plant Kingdom. It is a group or category of living organism comprising all plants, and it is also known as plantae. So your plant kingdom, it is a group which comprises of all plants in it. Based on the simple characteristics of a plant, you know the characteristics of plants, right? They are multicellular, autotrophic and eukaryotes. So based on it, you can also define a plant kingdom to be a group which consists of multicellular, autotrophic eukaryotes which conduct photosynthesis. And members of this family comprises of true nucleus and advanced membrane-bound organelles. And one more thing, among the five kingdoms, plant kingdom is considered to be the most important kingdom. So you know, right, living organisms are separated into five different kingdoms. What are the five kingdoms? Kingdom Animalia, Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Protista and Kingdom Monera. So among these five kingdoms, Kingdom Plantae is considered to be the most important kingdom. The reason for it is plants acts as a source of food. Then we'll move on to the characteristics of Kingdom Plantae. They are autotrophic in nature. Cell contains the outer cell wall and a large central vacuole. Then they are multicellular eukaryotes. Photosynthetic pigments called chlorophyll is present in the plastid. They reproduce asexually or sexually and are non-motile in nature. Then they are further subgrouped or divided based on the plant body, vascular system and seed formation. First one is your plant body. So in certain plants, the plant body will be differentiated into root, stem and leaf. Whereas in other plants, it won't be differentiated. So an undifferentiated plant body is said to be a thallus. So based on this difference, we subgroup or subdivide plants. Then the next one is vascular system. Your vascular system consists of xylem and phloem. Xylem is responsible for transport of water and phloem is responsible for transport of food. So based on the presence and absence of vascular system, we differentiate plants. Then final one is seed formation. So presence and absence of seed is also an important thing to differentiate or subgroup plants. Next, these are the subdivisions in plant kingdom and separate videos on all these topics will be uploaded. In this video, we are going to see about biological classification. Biological classification. Definition for biological classification. Organizing a system or categories where a number of known organisms are named and studied based on natural relationships among organisms. So biological classification is nothing but these are the system or categories where a number of known organisms are either named or studied based on natural relationships observed among them. In simple terms, you can also define it to be a group of living organisms where organisms are classified based on similarity. And your similarity will be either physical characteristics or genetic analysis. So what is a biological classification? It is nothing but it is a grouping of living organism where organisms are grouped based on the similarity. So what are the similarities? The similarities might be the physical characteristics or based on genetic analysis. Next, the science of biological classification is commonly known as taxonomy. So what is taxonomy? It is a scientific study of naming, describing and classifying organisms. And father of taxonomy is Carl Linnaeus. Then biological classification is a study of different type of kingdoms in which the living organisms are divided. Introduction. So here we are going to see who are the contributors of biological kingdom and their time period and what are the contributions. First person is Carl Linnaeus. His period was from 1707 to 1778. He is the father of taxonomy and he classified living things into plantae and animalia. The next person is Eichler. His period was 1886 and he classified plants into 4 divisions and placed it in 3 different groups: cryptogams, phanerogams and spermatophyta. So what are cryptogams? These are the non-flowering plants and the reproduction is via spores, whereas in phanerogams these are the flowering plants and spermatophyta, these are seed producing plants and further they are subdivided into gymnosperms and angiosperms. The next person is Endlicher. In 1836, he coined the term Thallophyta. So you know, right, what are Thallophyta? These are the primitive form of plants and they are the lower plants. Their plant body is not differentiated and they are said to be thallus. They are also autotrophic in nature. Then we have our 5 kingdoms. So we are going to see who are the people who propose these kingdoms and their period. So the first one is 2 kingdom classification. It was proposed by Carl Linnaeus during 1758. Then 3 kingdom classification by Eichler in 1866. Then 4 kingdom classification by Copeland in 1956. And 5 kingdom classification by R.H. Whittaker. We are going to see about 2 kingdom classification. As I have told you all, Carl Linnaeus was a person who proposed 2 kingdom classification. Here, Jussier and Cuvier. So, what is Jussier and Cuvier? It's nothing but these are the French words, and Jussier denotes plants and Cuvier denotes animals. Then Bernard de Jussier in 1699 to 1777, he divided plants into 3 groups: Acotylidae, Monocotylidae and Dicotylidae. So what are Acotylidae? Acotylidae is nothing but plants with no distinct seeds or leaves. Example for this is fern, moss. Next is Monocotylidae. These are embryo that bears only one cotyledon. Example for this is orchids, lilies and all your Poaceae family, grasses and everything. Then Dicotylidae. These are embryos that bear 2 cotyledons. Example for this is peas, beans and rose. The next person, Augustin Pyramidus de Candolle in 1778 to 1841. He created 135 orders, published the classification in theories. Then Stephen Endlicher in 1805 to 1849. He classified plants into Thallophyta and Corneophyta. Corneophyta is nothing but these are the stemmed plants. Then Eichler in 1880, based on the presence and absence of seeds, he differentiated plants. So this is what was proposed by Eichler in 1880. He divided plant kingdom into cryptogams and phanerogams. In cryptogams, you have Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. And in phanerogams, you have gymnosperms and angiosperms. Thallophyta. So as I've already told you all, these are the primitive forms of plant life. Then Bryophyta. These are non-vascular plants and they prefer moist habitat. Reproduction is via spores in Bryophyta. Then Pteridophyta. These are vascular plants and they disperse spores. They have true root stem and leaves, and these plants are the first to be evolved on land. Then gymnosperms. These are flowerless plants that produce cones and seeds. These are the seed producing plants and they have naked seeded and they are naked seeded. Next is angiosperms. These are vascular plants. They have stem, root and leaves, and egg fertilize and develop into a seed in an ovary. These are also seed producing plants. A difference between gymnosperm and angiosperm is gymnosperms bear naked seeded plants. And one more difference is in gymnosperms, ovary and fruit are absent and they are non-flowering. Whereas in angiosperms, they are flowering and ovary and fruit is present. And in Thallophyta, you differentiate it to be algae and the other one is fungi and bacteria. Next is Tippoo. In 1942, based on absence or presence of embryo, he differentiated plant kingdom into Thallophyta and Embryophyta. Embryophyta is nothing but land plants. It is a group of green plants. All your trees, grass, herb, fern, moss are all differentiated in Embryophyta. Then in Embryophyta, you have Bryophyta and Tracheophyta. What is Tracheophyta? They comprises of vascular plants that contain tracheary elements in it. Your vessels or fibers and everything. And in Bryophyta you have Hepaticae and Musae. And in Tracheophyta, Phylopsida, Lycopsida, Phenopsida and Pteropsida. In Hepaticae you have plants that are non-vascular and they are land plants. Example for it is liverworts. The next one is Musae. And in Tracheophyta, you have Psilopsida. These are vascular plants with no root leaf and no leaf traces. Either they are partially differentiated or they lack leaves, root and everything. Mainly there is no leaf trace at all in Psilopsida. Then your Lycopsida. These are terrestrial plants and they are flowerless and epiphytic in nature. Example for this is club moss. The next one is Phenopsida. You know Equisetum, it is also known as hostel. It is included in Phenopsida and plants in it are arborescent in nature. What is arborescent? Tree-like appearance is said to be arborescent. Next is Pteropsida. It includes flowering plants and fern. They have large leaf and leaves bear sporangia. Then Pteropsida is further subdivided into three different groups: Felicinae, Gymnospermae and Angiospermae. In Felicinae you have all the tropical herbaceous plants. Fern is included in Felicae. Next one is Gymnosperms and the other one is Angiosperm. Angiosperm is again further subdivided into Dicotyledonnae and Monocotyledonnae. So the next one, Harold C. Bold. He classified plant kingdom into 24 divisions. So the third kingdom classification. In third kingdom classification, Eichler in 1866, he created third kingdom of Protista, which included unicellular microorganisms, your bacteria, algae, fungi and protozoa. Then your fourth kingdom classification. It was given by Copeland in 1956. He placed prokaryotes in Monera. This is your fourth kingdom classification. Living beings were differentiated into four different groups: lower Protistis, higher Protistis, eukaryotic plants and eukaryotic animals. In lower Protistis you have bacteria and blue-green algae and it is known as Monera. And in higher Protistis you have eukaryotic single-cell algae, fungi and protozoans and it is said to be Protista. And in eukaryotic plants, you have Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms and Angiosperms and it is said to be Metaphyta. And in eukaryotic animals, non-chordates and chordates are included and it is said to be Metazoa. So Monera. You can also define Monera to be a kingdom that contains unicellular organisms with prokaryotic cells. And your Protista, it is a kingdom of primitive form, an organism whose cells contain cell nucleus that is not similar to an animal, plant or fungus, but it shares common ancestors. Then Metaphyta. These are multicellular plants not included in Protophyta and it is a subkingdom of Embryophyta. Next is Metazoa. Your fish, bird, amphibians are all included in Metazoa and they bear multicellular organisms. Next is your five kingdom classification. It was proposed by R.H. Whitaker in 1969 and he classified living world based on five criteria: complexity of cell structure, complexity of organisms, mode of nutrition, life cycle, phylogenetic relationships. So the first one is complexity of cell structure. Based on its cell structure, they have grouped it as Monera. Then complexity of organisms. Based on it, you have the unicellular Protista. And the third one is based on the mode of nutrition. You have Plantae, fungi and Animalia. So what are autotrophs? They prepare food by their own with the help of sunlight. Mode of nutrition is through photosynthesis. That is only autotrophs. Heterotrophs are something which depend on others for food. Okay, your fungi, they might be parasitic or saprophytic in nature. Either depend on living or dead organisms for their survival. So the fourth one is life cycle. You have the producers, decomposers and consumers. So producers, Plantae are considered to be the producer. Producer are nothing but organisms that make their own food. So plants usually they generate their own food. The next one is decomposers. Decomposers are nothing but they depend on the producers for their survival. And consumers, they obtain energy nutrients from producers. Then phylogenetic relationships from prokaryotes to eukaryotes. And you have finally the sixth kingdom classification, where living beings are separated into two different categories: prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So you have your archaea, bacteria, eubacteria, everything in prokaryotes. And in eukaryotes, you have the protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. A common difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes is you don't find nucleus in prokaryotes, whereas in eukaryotes you have well-defined nucleus. And prokaryotes consist of unicellular organisms. Eukaryotes consist of multicellular organisms. Then your archaea bacteria. These are the single-cell microorganisms which lacks cell nuclei. They are the most primitive living organism. And eubacteria, they lack nucleus and membrane-bound organelles, and it is known as true bacteria. And in eukaryotes, you have protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. So that's it guys. If you really find this video to be useful, please do like, share and comment. And if you have any doubts, please do let me in the comment box given below. Thank you.